surfing comets. Charlotte came second, which is a bad thing to her, so the little prince showed her was surfing comets. Soon they had a race, but King of Everything tried to cheat. I got peeved when I lost a game as a child, but now I've grown and shrugged off being a sore loser. I need to watch Pixar's Win or Lose and drop my reviews after this long video. Shuffling stars. Elijah can't remember the months of the year in French or in order, so the crew helps the musician to play the Griffin constellation by organizing the stars in correct order. Around my young years, my parents have been speaking Tagalog, so why can't I? I know a few words. Kotse, bahay, maganda, ibon? All the colors of a rainbow. Charlotte has to wear a yellow dress because her grandmother is picking her up, so the crew visits the great star painter doing commissions, while the poor rainbow is waiting patiently while fading away. When I was young, I tried to mix red and white Play-Doh into pink Play-Doh, along with blending pink paint into a perfect shade of pink, but now I like all colors, and you know it. The mirror. Elijah has this tearful problem behind his fake smile, so the crew visits the mirror to find Elijah's missing reflection. I used to cry at tough times when I was young, but now I've got them inside my mind, and I've tried to forget them. Being sad is more of a problem than being happy. Little lightning bolt. Elijah was shocked when he heard that the field trip was over because of a storm, so he and Charlotte decided to meet the little prince. Then there was a power outage at the astroship, and they saw an impatient yet rowdy little lightning bolt. Impatience is my middle name when it comes to waiting, even at a young age. Sometimes I do stuff to keep myself patient. For what's its scope? Say goodbye to Charlotte, saying that he didn't break it, which will lead to him calling Charlotte a bub. So the crew meets with this gardener. He said that the businessman stole all the cherry flowers. While the businessman admits his defeat, everyone will begin to replant the flowers. And the little prince said that they'll grow in 30 years or so. Psst, he's lying to a businessman. In my young years, each time when I did it on purpose, I kinda lied? Okay, that's genuine. Every cloud has a silver lining. Elijah made this thing. It was supposed to be a dog at least. So the crew meets the king of everything and the great star painter, with the former showing off on how he makes his sculptures. When he requests to make another cloud, his toy soldiers come with the same one. Wait, what? That's not the one the king asked for. Oh. I had experienced art imperfections and tried to make them look perfect in my childhood, like making a tutu, for example. But I came clean and went on the same wavelength. Elijah received a walkie-talkie by his grandfather, but he only wanted for a new game console. So the crew helped Pioneer 5 get out of Sector Slow 246. Pioneer 5 wanted silence because his two young satellites, Gemini 11 and Alouette 3, were making such a racket. I found Mom's old phone and decided to use it, but now it's official and it stays with me. Space Slice. Charlotte can't meet her cousin because her cousin has a cruel case of chickenpox, so she needs the little prince to help her. Then the crew spotted some creatures called Space Slice, the things that were dropped down by the energetic Hello Comet. As a child, I used to refuse to brush my hair, but now I took care of it by doing exactly as I was told. Fireworks pie! Elijah's traditions were made fun of by Valentine, so the crew meets the cook, who needs some laughter for his fizzy pie. Not until the businessman decided to make perfume with the laughter. Around my young years, my family and I usually go to church and pray for God every Sunday. Why? Because it's a tradition for Filipino people. And let's get started with, lumpias? This sandcastle Elijah lost his pet goldfish and now he can't get the spot out of his mind. So the crew visits the architect, who was overwhelmed by a tornado destroying his memorable sandcastle. When I was young in the Philippines, I used to love chicks, but instead I played both of them. Woe is me. 1, 2, 3, smile. Charlotte doesn't have anywhere to sit because she's part of a 5-member family and a middle child. So the crew visits the Cacti Sisters, who tend to have serious photo shoot problems. I thought there were 2 parents and 1 child. My family and I used to take pictures when we went to certain places, like London, for example. Domino Planet. Charlotte wanted to do a crane by origami, but she failed to do so. So the crew sets off to the Domino Planet, and the snake sees a marble that is precious! When I was young, I used to follow some instructions to make things, but clearly I have my own ways and confused myself. The ghost. Elijah thought that the cold wind was the ghosts. When he and Charlotte reached the astral ship, the fox met his cousin Polly. They are a natural ghost investigator, so the crew sets off to find the ghost in the cold. When I was young, I feared ghosts, but now I'm much more fearless. The King of Nothing. Charlotte and Valentine decided to do a group project, with the former rejecting him for the irresponsible things he had done. So the crew met the King of Everything and needed his dinosaur robot for Charlotte's project, but the king allowed it if he'd like to control the astral ship. I used to lend my phone to my brother, but he used to tamper it without any reason at all. Space mustache. Elijah has a loose tooth and cannot admit it. So the crew decided to meet the volcano, but he has fuzzy hairs. Why? Because he was growing so fast. When I was 12, I experienced a blooming rose, which is a woman's thing, by the way, and I felt embarrassed when it occurred. And by the way, why use the king again? Shouldn't my OC, the conceited gal, be here? I mean, she should be here, right? Well, I guess that this ends my last reveal survey. Please like and subscribe. Bye!